It's wild because almost every single struggling shrimp tank that I've seen over the years has had one thing in common. The shrimp keeper was working way too hard. Here's a simple truth most shrimp keepers never hear. Shrimp don't need perfection, they need peace. And today, I want to give you a system, a way to keep shrimp that's easier, calmer, and even more successful, without constant tinkering, chasing magic numbers, or stressing over the tiniest details. I call it the shrimp method. And once you understand it, you genuinely relax into shrimp keeping rather than fighting it. And stick with me, because steps R and I break the two rules that new shrimp keepers think you have to follow. If you've ever looked into your tank and thought, why are my shrimp acting weird? Or why are they randomly starting to die off? You're in exactly the place I used to be. Years ago, I had what I thought was the perfect shrimp tank. Crisp glass, clean substrate, weekly water changes, spotless. It was a showroom tank and it failed constantly. Meanwhile, the messy little tank up in the corner with the leaves and the mulm and the algae and the detritus was absolutely thriving, babies everywhere. And that is when the light bulb flicked on. Shrimp don't want to live in a show home, they want to live in a world that feels alive. And that's exactly what the shrimp method builds. S stands for set up the tank correctly. This is the foundation, and honestly, it's the step that makes the biggest difference in the long run. A shrimp tank isn't something you rush, it's something you prepare. You want a tank that's fully seasoned, is stable, and has already developed those invisible layers of microlife before the shrimp even arrive. This means using rocks and wood, and adding plants and moss, and letting the whole thing age a little before you add the shrimp. Imagine you moved into a brand new home where the builders had literally just finished, and compare that to moving into a cozy old cottage that's been lived in and loved for many, many years. I know which one I would prefer to live in. And trust me, when you get the foundations right, the rest of this method becomes effortless. H is for a healthy habitat. Now let's talk about the feel of the tank. Shrimp don't just want clean water. They want to live in a world that feels safe and shaded and textured and full of nooks and crannies. Moss, wood, leaves, all of this creates essentially a shrimp playground. It gives them places to hide, places to graze, places for babies to disappear into. You might prefer a clean, minimalist aquascape, but shrimp love complexity. The more surfaces they have to explore, the better they do. Shrimp want to live in a tank that looks like a slice of nature. A little wild, a little messy, a little unpredictable. If your tank looks like a slice of nature rather than like a tank that's just been entered into an aquascaping competition, then you're probably doing it right. R stands for reduce water changes. This is the part that always makes people pause. Shrimp don't want weekly water changes. They don't need it. And honestly, it often does more harm than good. Shrimp hate sudden swings. They want stability, not just fresh water added to their tank just for the sake of it. So instead of changing water out of habit, only change it when you need to. If nitrates spike suddenly, if shrimp start behaving in a strange way, or if you start to randomly lose shrimp and you don't really know why, then yes, that may well be the time to do a water change. But if everything is calm and the shrimp are grazing and the tank looks balanced, leave it alone. I stands for ignore perfection. This one surprises people the most because it almost feels like you're breaking the rules. Shrimp don't need perfect pH. They don't need perfect TDS. They don't need spotless water, and they don't need their tank testing every single day. They need consistency. And here's the twist. The things that beginners try and remove, the mulm, the algae, the biofilm building up on the glass, that's the good stuff that the shrimp really love. It's the shrimp's pantry, the buffet, the comfort blanket. Shrimp thrive in tanks that look mature and seasoned and a little rough around the edges. This one step, giving yourself permission to stop obsessing over every tiny detail, that is where new shrimp keepers finally start to see success. M stands for more food. Now, I'm not talking more scoops of food, I'm talking more variety. Shrimp aren't like fish. They don't have meal times. They graze 24 hours a day. So you want a tank that offers lots of different kinds of food. A bit of Snowflake, some Nettle Pellets, some spirulina, some good quality flake food, a few leaves, a bit of blanched veg, and plenty of surfaces for biofilm to grow on. When shrimp have more options, they get better nutrition. And when shrimp have better nutrition, they live longer, show brighter colours, and produce more babies. And here's the funny thing. Variety actually helps stabilise the tank. The food doesn't just feed the shrimp, it feeds the microfauna. And the microfauna helps stabilise the shrimp tank. It turns your tank into an ecosystem. And P stands for plants, plants, plants. If there's one thing that transforms shrimp keeping, it's plants. Any plants, lots of plants, as many plants as you can fit into your shrimp tank. Plants keep nitrates steady. They pump oxygen into the tank. They grow biofilm. They give shade. They create hiding places. They stabilize the whole tank. A shrimp tank with a whole jungle of plants is almost always a shrimp tank that thrives. The more plants you add, the less work you have to do. It's that simple. So that's my whole shrimp method. Set up the tank correctly, build a healthy habitat, reduce water changes, ignore perfection, offer more foods, and grow plants, plants, plants. This is the relax, it's shrimp method. The natural, low intervention, low stress method that gets results. If a few light bulbs went off for you during this video, then that's a sign that your shrimp keeping journey is about to get easier. And if you want to go deeper into setups and water stability and creating more babies, then why not get yourself a copy of my book, the Neocaridina Shrimp Handbook. I'll put links in the description below. But in the meantime, breathe, relax, trust in the process, let the tank run, and welcome to the shrimp method.